Okay. So now you guys can see this. We'll go through a few of these. Nicholas Vincent, he says, how Busta never gets his due for defeating Myers on how those two band geeks in Ends would have for sure easily killed him. I don't know about that. How Bob Clark is proud of Carpenter for taking his idea for Black Christmas 2 and made it his own. Woo, there's a lot to unpack there. I think people just didn't take Busta Rhymes seriously, if I'm being honest. I don't think he was meant to be taken seriously.
He didn't take himself seriously.
He didn't. And I think, do you really want to, get into an argument about whether Busta Rhymes would have beat Michael Myers? For me, as soon as that scene happened, I checked out. I'm done. I'm fucking done with this. What are we doing? People get mad about Halloween Ends, but that flies. I don't know. And I'll even say Bust is probably he's entertaining, but I'm not watching a Halloween movie at that point. I'm watching something different. So that's where that lies. And then I don't think it's stated that band geek. I think he's talking about because Corey takes Myers' mask, if I'm guessing. But I've defended this scene a million times, and I think even people that know what it really means, they still just love to shit on it because the idea of Corey Cunningham taking Myers' mask. But it's not Corey, it's the evil taking Myers' mask. The evil has taken over, and the evil's taken over Corey fully at this point. And Myers has been depleted quite a bit. So it's not like a full, leveled up, 10-tier Myers against a high school kid. No, it's not that at all. It's evil in a young body taking over a depleted old man that is at the end of his life. That's what that is. But
even with that, not just to play devil's advocate, like in Halloween Ends, he does take on the band geeks eventually, literally kills all of them. So it's not that Corey couldn't have. One, Paul Brad Logan, one of the co-writers, said that he wrote that based off of an experience he had in high school, that he was bullied by some of the band kids. And like some people are like, oh, band kids being bullies. Dude, some of the band kids were assholes. Like, I don't know where you went to school, but furthermore, it's like, it's not that Corey couldn't have. It's like, dude, he had this moniker that he was a child killer. Like, and he was an adult. The last thing he's going to do is kick the shit out of a couple minors after everybody already thinks he killed someone, a child, no less. So like, to me, it made total sense why he's not doing anything to these kids. Like, why would you? If I were out in public tomorrow and some 16-year-old was talking shit to me, guess what I'm not going to do? Punch him in the face. Because that's a felony, and I'll go to jail.
You got to think that through.
Yeah, I mean, but later on, Corey, he kills them all. Like, it's not that he couldn't have. So I don't know.
Yeah, people pick up some weird things about movies they hate. I think
the whole town is bullying Corey. I mean, that's what we get. Like, he's crossing the street on his bike, and people don't stop for him. Like, and you get the idea they're not stopping because it's him. It's very it seems very pointed. So it seems like he is just mentally beaten down and doesn't really have any fight in him.
I got to make a plea to my audience or anybody that is kind of on the fence with Ends. The people that fully hate Ends, I'm not going to be able to steer them. But the people that are kind of on the fence with Ends, they're like, I kind of like this, but there's a few things they really need to flesh out. Read the novelization. I beg you to read the novelization. I've read it. Oh my God. You can never make a book, like the full version of a book into a movie. It would just be too long. But man, if you are somewhat almost there, read that novelization because they really cover a lot of ground. And more than anything, you get a sense of who Corey is as a character. Like, I think they only scratched the surface just enough to give you the idea of what's going on with Corey headspace wise. But if you read the novelization, you know fully why Corey is who he is and what has led him down this road. And I think you would probably appreciate Ends a lot more because I love the novelization. Let me get the super chat real quick regarding the deleted skeleton scene in Ends. Who wants to guess how many people Michael disappeared between kills and Ends? A dozen, maybe. I think he's talking about like the death toll in both movies. Well, I mean, in Kills alone,
I always got the impression he didn't kill anyone in the intermediary. Like they're not explicit about that, and maybe the novelization is more, but which I have the novel and I haven't touched it.
Dude,
But
you need to.
I'm going to now. But like I just always got the impression he hadn't. Like that was just, in my opinion, I was like, it just seems like he didn't kill anyone, and he just kind of was like rotting.
I think we're led to believe, because we see the billboard for like the missing woman, we hear about missing people. Even the homeless guy under the bridge grabs Corey and is like, the other people that go in there don't come out. Yeah, so you get the idea that I mean, this might sound wild to say, like, you get the idea that maybe he's even like cannibalizing these people, because what else is he doing down there if he's not really going out and about? But yeah, you get the idea that there are some people that have gone missing, and it's because of Michael.
I haven't watched that movie since last October, guys, so forgive me, but yes, you're right. I'm like totally remembering it now, and I'm like, fuck, yeah, they did mention that.
The one reason,
but I think Lee, to say one more thing about you imploring your audience. I think if you've only seen Halloween Ends once and you didn't like it, but you're a fan of the franchise, I think as a fan of the franchise, you owe it to yourself, not to the movie, not to the filmmakers. You owe it to yourself to give it another shot, because I think that you will see something in the movie, something will click on subsequent viewings, and to only have seen it once and hate the movie, I don't know. It seems like a lot of people that I know, at least in my circle, that hate it have only given it one try.
Yeah, and why is that? And it's because they watched it one time. It was not what they expected and or wanted, and they have this vehement disgust for it because they just remember that experience, and they're like, fuck that movie. And I've had that experience with movies before, and I always give them a second chance. And if it's better the next time when I know what to expect, great. If not, then I was fair. I gave it another chance, knowing what I was getting myself into, and it just wasn't for me. Yeah, I mean, film, there's so much in a film, let alone an hour and 45-minute movie. Like, if you watched it one time and one, major decision they made is just where you're like, I'm done, I'm out, fuck this movie, never watching it again. I think you're doing yourself a disservice, and really any film a disservice doing that, personally.
Nick, let me give you a little nugget. Okay, in the novelization, there's a lot of speculation that people have that haven't read the novelization about how Myers ended up in that sewer, how he ended up with the limp, and really how he ended up in such bad shape. The novelization explains that whole thing from start to finish, from the very end of Kills all the way to how he ends up in the sewer. And there's a really cool moment. Remember in Halloween 2018 when Allison, she caught Cameron, this girl in like a tiger getup, kissing Cameron, right? That girl is the reason Myers ended up with the limp, because when he's leaving from Kills, she intercepts him, and there's a big showdown. He chases her, and she literally stabs him in the leg, and so there's a big thing, big fight between the two of them, and he kills her, and but that stab in the leg, she struck like a main artery or something like that. And that's the start of what sent Myers down that road, living in the sewers, and, because he couldn't stay in his house anymore. And so there's a lot of moments like that. But like I said, the Corey stuff is just really, really great. I think if you're a fan of Ends, you don't need to read it, because I think the movie gives you everything you need. But also, if you're a fan of Ends, I think it just gives you that much more of the movie, the story, I guess.
Well, hello there. You just watched an outrageous clip from the Hit the Bricks podcast. I really hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to see more clips, you can click here, or you can click here, and you can just have yourself a ball, all right? And also follow the Hit the Bricks podcast on Spotify as well. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day.